Good evening and welcome back to Arsenal Domination. I'm recording this following what has been a very odd weekend in the Premier League. Started with the Merseyside derby being called off. Uh, Ended with Spurs doing Spurs things. And Arsenal, unfortunately, dropping points and missing a big opportunity to put the pressure on Liverpool. Um, just on the game really quickly, I thought it was almost a sort of carbon copy in many ways of the game midweek against United. Arsenal in control largely in the first half, but a bit dull, a bit cautious, a bit insipid in many ways. Second half, up the tempo much more, created much more, looked far more threatening, and gave Fulham some real issues. And I think Arsenal need to find a way now if they are to continue the recent form of winning games. Let's be honest. Let's not pretend that we've lost five in a row or anything like that. We're not City, um, but they do need to find a way to put in these 90-minute performances rather than 45-minute performances. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying here that Arsenal were brilliant for 45 minutes. They weren't, but they were the better side, um, and that's what they need to do. I think just to run through the main moments of the game. Arsenal started with control. And I think that's a word I use a lot. And Arsenal have more control in games, sort of this season than last. And I think that's to their credit. And Jorginho plays a big part in that, and again did today. But what he doesn't do is necessarily offer that attacking thrust when he does play in that role. But he does offer control. And Arsenal, I haven't seen the field tilt, but I imagine it would have been very, very high 80s. I'd have thought field tilt in those opening minutes, and then got caught cold. Arsenal, we know, press really, really effectively and really, really high, especially with Martin Odegaard in the side. But one of the ways to combat that is to go more direct, and that's exactly what Fulham did. Kivior getting caught out, and Raul Jimenez, doing the rest, and Fulham out of nowhere suddenly find themselves 1-0 up. And Fulham, we have to give them credit. I tried to be fair on this channel. And sort of talk about things um, sort of in as balanced a way as possible. And you have to give credit to Fulham. Once they go 1-0 up, they're a good side. They offer a threat, and they did offer a threat at times, which I thought Arsenal countered very well. Um, but they were defensively organised, Fulham, and that's where you have to give them real credit because I thought they played very, very well. And I mentioned there about the Arsenal nullifying the threat, and I'll come back to that afterwards. But just to run through the rest of the game, Arsenal again showed control for the rest of the first half. They really did, and again, I think it's to Fulham's credit that they restricted Arsenal to very few clear-cut opportunities in that first half. But second half, I think Arteta would have got at them a bit at half time. He shouldn't have needed to. I think the players have to take some responsibility there. But clearly something was said at half time. Arsenal looked much better in the second half, moved the ball with more purpose, more speed. And we'll come on to Martinelli a little bit more in a second because, of course, he had a big role at one point in one of the talking points of the game. But we looked more balanced and more threatening with him out on the left, despite the fact that he had probably it was an average game. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a showstopper by any sense. But we looked to stretch Fulham far more, and whether that was his presence or whether that was a bit of a tactical shift from Arsenal or a bit of both, I suspect that is the answer. It's a bit of both. We did look sort of a better, more threatening side when he came on, to be honest. But Arsenal, did get their reward. And let's be honest, it was deserved. Arsenal levelled the game. Saliba with his second in two games. Arsenal with their third successive goal from a set piece. Ball comes in. Havertz with the assist with their header cross goal. Probably could have gone for goal, to be fair. And Saliba free, almost unmarked in the middle, slots it home. Long VAR check, rightly so, because it was very, very tight, just about played on by that left boot. Correct decision from VAR, not their first of the game. Arsenal level, and from there you just thought, come on, let's keep it going. And Arsenal tried. Declan Rice, I thought, for the second successive game, a real driving force. You could see his frustration at times. There was one moment he ran through, and I think it was Bassi. It might have been one of the other defenders. Just nicked the ball as the ball was tried to be played through. He just nipped in and took it away before it could reach Rice, and you could see his frustration. And maybe that late yellow card was frustration as much as anything else on Declan Rice's part. Um, but they couldn't find a way until the 88th minute when it looked like they had. Um, Bukayo Saka with the goal, what looked like the winning goal. But unfortunately, in the build-up, Martinelli was offside, and there's no question about it being offside. VAR correct for the second time in the game to reward that as offside. But equally, Martinelli, you can't be there. You cannot be in that position. You've got to stay onside there. And if you stay onside in a similar position, just a few yards further back, and you're onside, you're still not marked. You can still play the ball, and you have to accept that that wasn't a smart moment from him, and it's cost Arsenal the points. Overall, then, reflections on the game. Yeah, I think this game was lost with our lack of attacking purpose. There was a lot made of before the game about the defence, which of course was Partey, Saliba, Kivior, and Timber from right to left. So essentially two changes from the last game, with Timber moving from right back to left back and Partey moving in at right back. Zinchenko was injured, Calafiori and Gabriel was still not fit. I don't think that's where the game was won and lost. I really don't. I think it's perfectly reasonable to say Tierney plays on the left and Timber stays at right back, but I don't think that was where, as I say, where the game was won and lost. I don't think making that change would have made a massive difference to the outcome. I think Arsenal lost the game for a too cautious first half, or didn't lose the game. I mean, it feels like a loss given the ramifications, but they failed to take advantage because they didn't show enough attacking purpose and enough guile to unlock a very good Fulham defence. And I think ultimately, if one side had to win today, it was Arsenal. But I don't think you can say that a draw is not a fair result. And fair play to Fulham. Now, the video of this title of this video even is: does this mean the league is over? I still maintain no, it's not. What I do think is this is a massive opportunity lost. I spoke earlier in the season about that sort of period between October and November, and ultimately that might cost us the title come May. But I also think that will happen to Liverpool at some point, just as happened to City and Arsenal. I think that's perfectly normal. But today is a frustrating day. It's a disappointing day, and it's one that Mikel Arteta will be furious about. Not just because we could have been 4 points behind Liverpool and really put the pressure on them for coming into the Christmas period. We don't know how they would handle that pressure, if it were to tighten. But we've seen times before really struggle with that, and that's where it's a missed opportunity. But I think Mikel Arteta will be really, really reflecting this evening on the attitude of his players today, because I don't think they stepped up today like they should have. Mikel Arteta is the manager. He will bear the brunt of fans' fury. He will take responsibility for it. I think that's what good managers do, and he will take responsibility for it. But I also think privately he will be very, very angry with the players and the way they performed today, and I think understandably so. We're angry as fans and disappointed as fans. That's what fans do. It's what we're there for. But I think if you try and analyse this, he will be really, really, really disappointed tonight with how it took them so long to really take the game by the scruff of the neck and try and take it to Fulham properly. And even then, I don't think they really massively did. It was too casual. It was almost like, well, we're going to win this game. We just don't really need to worry about it, which in some ways is a good thing. But they got the confidence, but also you have to execute it, and we didn't tonight. So there are my reflections on the game. This went a little bit longer than I intended. Very disappointing tonight. But hopefully this will be a sort of balanced and fair reflection on the game. And this is what I wanted this channel to be about. And we need to try and put it right on Wednesday against Monaco. And if we do that, I think that probably secures a top 8 position in all likelihood, because I think Arsenal will win their remaining Champions League games if they can beat Monaco, which they should. And we just need to get that momentum building. And look, if we win our remaining games in December, this title race is on. It really is. It's not over. I still don't think it's over, but the margin for error reduced again, and that's on us. Anyway, that's enough for me. Have a good evening. Have a good start to your week. I've been Arsenal Domination. Please do like, subscribe. I'm trying to aim for 50 subscribers by a week on Tuesday. That's the 4-week anniversary of this channel. It would be a lovely early Christmas present if that were to happen. So please do see if you can make that happen for me. But as I say, guys, have a good evening as best you can after a disappointing result. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks. Bye.